Alrighty, g'day warriors, how are you all? Hope you're doing very well. In today's video, we are talking about my experience with anxiety as a brain tumor survivor. So this is a great question. It was sent in by someone. Their YouTube handle is the Freestyle Geek. So thank you for the great question. They posted this question in the comments of one of my other videos. Guys, if you have random questions about brain surgery, the journey, the procedure, brain tumors, anything to do with this realm, just post it in the comments of my video and I'll make you a video just like this specifically for your question. It helps me understand what you guys, as my viewers, as brain tumor warriors, actually want to see, instead of me just preaching stuff I believe you want to see. It lets me know exactly what you want to see. So guys, in today's video, there are going to be three topics. Topic number one, I'm actually going to go on a bit of a side tangent and give you a bit of a backstory around why anxiety caused me to have 3 months off work. Yeah, it's a pretty good story and a lot of good life lessons were learned. In number two, I'm going to give you my best piece of advice onto how I started to control my anxiety a lot more. And in number three, I'm going to give you my tips, my daily habits, and my coping mechanisms for living and, for lack of a better word, putting up with your anxiety and trying to thrive and cope as best as you can. So, point number one. So to give you guys a bit of a backstory, I don't know if this is your first time watching my videos or if you've watched many before, but I'm a personal trainer. In 2020, I had a brain tumor removed from my brain. We actually found the symptoms of my brain tumor, which was severe dizziness, back in 2013. I then spent 2 years jumping from naturopath to doctor to GP to specialist to neurosurgeon to try and find out what it was. And it took us 2 years to actually find the tumor. So this is where I want to talk about my side note story. So as you can imagine, feeling uncontrollably dizzy all day, every day, and also knowing that there was a potentially life-threatening lesion growing in the back of my brain that surgeons didn't want to touch because it looked nasty and it was in a very gnarly and difficult place to biopsy and operate. That caused my stress levels to rise and rise and rise and rise. It was a very stressful time on myself and my partner at the time. I was trying to live a normal life and work with daily dizziness, with daily high anxiety, with daily fear of, this tumor growing in my brain. And I was trying to find answers because, yes, I knew there was a lesion, but I was also trying to find answers around dizziness. Was I doing the right diets? Are there foods I could eliminate to help my dizziness feel better? I was going to naturopaths. I was basically getting myself in a frenzy around trying to find all these other answers. I was going to this person, that person, spending thousands of dollars. And it wasn't until I went to a GP by complete accident, because the GP I intended to see was sick. So I eventually saw this GP purely by accident because he was a substitute. And I explained all what I was trying to do and how I was feeling and what avenues I was going down. He's like, whoa. He goes, listen to yourself, mate. Breathe. He goes, you are giving yourself anxiety because you're trying to find out this. You're trying to solve this to-do list. You're trying to find this elimination diet, that elimination diet. Stop eating this, stop eating that, eat more of this. He's like, breathe. He goes, I think you have generalized anxiety disorder. And what I want to do, instead of sending you to naturopaths and going and getting these blood tests and worrying about this health scare and worrying about this fear mongering, I want you to go to a psychologist and I want you to talk this through with them. This was honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me. I was off work for 3 months because I was so wound up with stress and anxiety and I was so fearful. I was actually scared to go to work, and my anxiety was actually making my daily dizziness even worse, to the extreme that I couldn't even get on a train or a bus and actually commute into work. I was so dizzy and so wound up and in such a panic. So this alludes to point number two, my best piece of advice. This GP, he's now my actual GP, Dr. Simon Kerr. the words coming out of his mouth, Joel, I think you have generalized anxiety disorder, took the weight of the world off my shoulders. It was quite triggering at the start. I'm like, how on earth can something in my head, anxiety, be giving me these physical symptoms? I was feeling nauseous and dizzy and lightheaded and fatigued. But as I spent more and more time with my psychologist and talking these things out, I actually found out that there are ways we are programming our brain to panic and to fear and to avoid things. And we can actually unpack those things as well and help us not stress so much, not have fear, not have anxiety, and help us be calm in these situations. And after about 6 sessions with my psychologist and starting to work out why this stress and anxiety was actually making me feel these physical symptoms that were so bad they were stopping me from going to work for 3 months, I actually returned to work and I actually got back to a normal life. And yeah, the anxiety and the fear and the panic was absolutely horrible. During that 3 month hiatus from work, I actually was so fearful and panicked one day. I actually had to call the ambulance because I thought I was having a massive heart attack and I couldn't get myself to stop hyperventilating, breathing. I thought my heart was going too fast. So I actually called the ambulance to come pick me up and they took me to the hospital and they're like, look, there's actually nothing clinically wrong with you. And yeah, I think they were tiptoeing around the fact that I'd gotten myself into the situation, which is a massively severe panic attack. So yeah, the second point, number 2 for this video, the best piece of advice was I have generalized anxiety disorder. And a lot of you out there may be going through something similar of your own. You may not be a brain tumor warrior. You may not be a brain tumor survivor. You might be going through similar physical things that could actually be down to your anxiety being so high from you trying to connect dots and go to this naturopath and do this and do that. You're just getting yourself into a spin. My best piece of advice, just go and see a psychologist, talk it out. See if there's ways you can reprogram your brain not to go into panic all the time. And it sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes your physical symptoms can actually be all in your head, for lack of a better term. It definitely was for me. And I've met dozens of people since who were in these, I guess, health anxiety situations, and I could see it from living through it myself. I'm like, whoa, maybe you don't need this magic pill or this vitamin or this tincture from a naturopath. Maybe you just need to see a psychologist and talk through why you're escalating these things and why you're ruminating and why you're in a panic. Maybe it's not the magical pill or the magical vitamin or the magical elimination diet that you need. Maybe you're just really, really anxious and you need some ways to, some tools and some coping mechanisms to kind of deal with that. And that circles into point number 3 of this video, guys. So what are my coping mechanisms and what do I do to cope with my anxiety? Because as you can imagine, right, I'm a naturally anxious person as it is. I've got a brain tumor. Back at this time, I didn't know what the tumor was. I didn't know if it was going to kill me. I didn't know if it was going to make me permanently disabled. I didn't know what was going on. So my anxiety was higher and higher and higher all the time, on top of just being a naturally anxious person. So what I started doing was daily meditation, even if it's for 10 minutes. What the meditation does, it gets you to focus on your breathing. When you're focused on your breathing, you can't be focused on your to-do list or the elimination diet you want to do or the panic. And it gets your brain out of that panic to-do list mode and it brings you into a state of calm and rest and digest and relaxation. And that's where your brain needs to be if it wants to start to calm itself down. And the reason I do this every day, your brain and your anxiety is like a muscle. The more often you train it, the stronger it gets and the better it can become. And I just want to give a shout out to one of my mates, Chibs Okereke. He's actually on YouTube. He gives the most incredible daily meditations and they're all for free. Head over to his page. His name is Chibs, C-I-B for Bob S. Just type that into YouTube and he'll come up. Listen to his meditations. He's got meditations for stress, meditations for anxiety, meditations for burnout, meditations for sleep, meditations for stressful situations. Dive into his video library. They are fantastic. I listen to him every day and he really, really helps. When my, stress and anxiety are redlining, he really brings me down to calm, which is what you want from your, I guess, coping mechanisms and trying to get away from anxiety. Another good tip that my auntie gave me, and I never quite understood it when she was telling me at the time, but just surrender to your anxiety. You can't control it. No matter how much you try and fight getting rid of that anxious feeling, you can't. Just surrender. And my auntie used to say, just let it wash over you. The less you try and fight it, in my opinion, in my experience, the actual less grip it has on you, and the less severe those feelings of panic or high heart rate or sweating or heat or fatigue actually feel. So yeah, meditate daily. Also as well, what I do, I schedule rest. If you're a brain tumor warrior, which I assume you are watching this video, you know that our body and our brain have been through a massive trauma from the brain surgery, and our body's constantly on high alert mode and on, this high octane of stress and this high underlying stress level. So this is why I schedule rest. Now, scheduling rest for me can be something as simple as I organize with my fiance to look after my son, and I'll sit down and watch sport, and I'll have my favorite snacks. What this does, it just lets me unwind, let me unravel a little bit. It could be a movie, it could be drawing or art or reading, whatever your choice of relaxation is. For me, it's sport. I love watching sport. I can actually zone out and I just concentrate on the game, and I stop worrying about my to-do list or the elimination diet or the naturopath I should go see, or why is my heart making that thing, or why am I sick in the tummy. I just watch the game. And I find for me, whatever I can do to be mindful and just sit in that moment without worrying about my to-do list and those other thousand things really, really grounds me. And as well, my last thing I'm going to circle around with is listen to your body. If you're feeling burnt out or fatigued or like you're striving too hard, take your foot off the gas. No one's going to care. Nothing's more important to you than your health and your brain and mental health and your anxiety levels, and trying to keep them down. If you need to cancel plans with your friends or cancel going for a walk or a workout because your body just feels fried, just do it. Just relax. Take it down a notch. Again, our bodies and our brains are so redlined at such a high fight or flight. Let's bring them down to a state of rest and digest and a state of calm, because that's what we're going to try and do to get out of this stuff. Because yeah, as brain tumor warriors, our bodies are just highly stressful. We've been through a massive life event and a massive trauma, and of course our anxiety levels are going to be high. And for someone like me who has generalized anxiety disorder on top of that stress, my anxiety levels are super high to begin with. So yeah, I've got to take these daily little notes and these daily steps to kind of keep it nice and low. So I'll rattle them off again for you guys. There's 4 things. So just surrender. You can't control your anxiety. Meditate daily. Go and check out Chibs on YouTube. He's fantastic. Schedule rest and listen to your body. Now, I hope that helps you. Who was this video by? Freestyle Freak, sorry. So I hope this answers your question. Guys, if you've got any more brain tumor or journey or health related questions, chuck them in the comments below and I'll make a video for you on my experience. Now, guys, I'm going to wrap up the video as I always do, sending positive vibes to anyone going through chemo, radiation, or any other therapy, or you're getting an MRI and you're waiting on some results. I'm sending positive vibes. I've got everything crossed for you. I hope you get some really good news, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.